Hi, I'm Justin Mason. I'm the Vice President of the South Florida Bluegrass Association, one of the oldest nonprofits in all the country when it comes to music. We'd like to put this video together for you because we have a couple bluegrass jams and we're trying to get even more folks to come out to these jams. And we realize there's a lot of folks that are new to either bluegrass or bluegrass jamming or any of the combination. So I just like to get some tips and tricks together for everybody to help them understand the dynamics and the unwritten rules and things like that of the bluegrass jam. The first off is rhythm, and that's kind of a broad stroke when you come to an idea, but what I really mean by that is finding out which rhythm is right. A lot of times you get in a jam, especially if it's a larger group of people, and you may have an instrument or two that's a little bit off of the other ones, and that's the quickest way to bring a jam to a grinding halt. So I've been playing myself for about 16, 17 years. The biggest thing for me when I go into a jam, when it comes to the rhythm, is I tend to follow the singer. Whoever's singing the song, I try to tend to follow their voice as the rhythm. If it's an instrumental, I tend to follow the bass player. Usually the bass player, if the bass player's off, everybody's off. So normally I follow the bass player. If there's no bass player, I just find whoever the lead guitarist is and kind of follow what he's doing. But the rhythm is very important, okay? And take a little time to realize what your rhythm is at. You know, if you're lagging behind or you're getting forward in front of people, it really can hurt the jam. So, but you'll get used to that pretty quickly, and you'll get used to too if there's a group of people you jam with a lot. You'll get used to finding out who's stronger when it comes to rhythm, and you can find out who it is you need to follow. The second thing is Nashville notation. A lot of bluegrass players and a lot of jammists all over the country use this in order to make things more simple. If I tell you the next chord you're going to is an A, and you're playing the mandolin, it makes sense because that's an actual chord. You can slide up to the A. If you're playing on rhythm guitar and you're capoed, and I tell you to go to an A, if you're capoed at the second fret and I tell you to go to an A, that could be a whole different note for you. You don't know if it's the one position or way up higher. And so that's kind of where the numbers come in. When I said one position is what I mean. Usually most bluegrass songs, you'll hear them say it's the 1, 4, and the 5, the chords. Instead of saying A, D, and E, they'll say 1, 4, and 5. And how you get this number is you count the numbers that are in a note key. So let's say the song is in the key of A. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So those are your 7 notes in that thing. So if the chords in that song are the 1, 4, and 5, you have A, D, and E, the 1, 4, and the 5. The same thing with G. If you're in the key of G and you're going to get 1, 4, and 5, so that's G, C, and D. That's your 1, 4, and 5. I'll put some notes in the descriptions below to help you, maybe some tablature or something like that, to make that a little more, to explain that a little bit better to you. But it's really easy. Once you learn the Nashville notation, it really help you in jams. Somebody will yell, oh, it goes to the 2. So if you're in the key of G, the 2 is an A. So you'll know that the next note's going to jump up to an A instead of having to think where they mean A open or A capoed. You see what I'm saying? So that makes a little sense. The next thing is dynamics, okay? Instruments in bluegrass can be very loud, but if you're in a big group of people, you imagine if everybody's playing very loud, it's going to be just a jumble of noise. So the unwritten rule kind of is if you're taking a lead break on a song, then you can be as loud as you need to be. The other players that aren't taking the break should be backing off their instruments a little bit. There's nothing more annoying than a loud mandolin player or fiddle player just crushing on their instrument while you're trying to take your guitar break. If you're in the background, if the lead singer's singing, you want to noodle around, that's just fine, and everybody does it. But when somebody's taking a break on their guitar, bass, mandolin, whatever, just dial your instrument back a little bit, play a little bit softer, and it'll make a world of difference. And people will love you for it, believe me. The fourth thing is taking turns. Even if you come to a jam session with your full band, if you bring everybody in your band in, you go to a jam session, you still have to let other folks take breaks and even attempt some of the vocals on the songs when you get a chance. A lot of folks are a little bit nervous. A lot of people at the jam, none of us are Nashville touring acts or anything like that. So, we're a little bit nervous about getting in there, but when we get a chance to take a break, we love to do that. So, if you're in there with your group or just yourself and you're not giving people a chance to take breaks, they'll get a little bit irritated and and won't be as inclined to have you jam with them. So just when you go to sing your song, after you get done with the first verse and the chorus, usually a bluegrass song it works out that way, go ahead and let at least the 1 or 2 people take a break on the song. Okay, and you can look at a person and give them the nod, and they'll kind of say whether they're going to take a break or not. So that's pretty easy to follow. The fifth thing, and it's hard to say in words, is to learn the guitar hand positions. If you're not a guitarist, let's say you play mandolin like I do, sometimes it can be hard to follow a song, especially if you don't know it. So the trick with that is to learn what the guitar hand positions are. If you find a guitarist that's in the group and figure out what it looks like when they make a G on the guitar. Okay, and it makes it a little bit easier for you to follow the notes if you can, because basses are hard to follow. Mandolin players like myself, we have like a million different versions of the same chord, but guitar players usually just use one specific hand position for G, C, D, and all the rest of the notes. So it'll behoove you to learn those positions for you or whoever it is that may, it may help you out. And the last thing is when you're jamming and you see another player hanging around outside your jam, what they're doing is they're waiting for you to invite them in. A lot of folks who are new to the music or don't know you but really want to jam, they're not just going to come barging into your jam and try to take over, and they'll just kind of hang out and listen. So just be courteous when you see folks standing around. Go ahead and invite them in the jam. When I come up to a jam, if I see another mandolin player there, I'll hang back until that mandolin player or somebody else in the jam invites me in, because I don't want to take over what they're doing. If they're uncomfortable having another player, I'll wait around for a song or two, and then if they don't invite me in, I'll just leave. So that's kind of what that kind of etiquette is. If you want folks to jam with you, which I do, I love the biggest group possible. I'm happy with. If you see folks stand outside your jam with an instrument casing, go ahead and wave them in. Tell them to come on in. But that's just the basics. You can find more things online about different tips and tricks when it comes to jams. The biggest thing is, if you hear a song you've never heard before, try to write it down, the name of it, so you can look it up later and try to learn it. It makes it better. The next time you come to the jam, you'll be able to play that song even better. Like I said, we have a jam. The South Florida Bluegrass has a few jams. We have a every other week jam at Hollywood Beach, and we have a jam every Saturday at the Firehouse in Lake Forest. And we'd like to see you guys come out, and we'd like to see you guys be better and better every day at the jam. And hopefully you guys will form your own band, and we get to hear your guys' own songs. So anyway, I'd like to thank you for your time. I'm Justin Mason with the South Florida Bluegrass Association. If you want more information, you can go to southfloridabluegrass.org, and you can also check Facebook/South Florida Bluegrass. And we also have a page on Facebook for the Hollywood Beach Jam. So thank you for your time. Hope you have a good day. Happy jamming.